November 6, 2023 meeting of the Greensboro City Council. We are in the Katie Dorsett Council Chamber. People wishing to speak must sign up by 6 p.m. by using the Q Minder kiosk just outside the council door. See the courier for assistance if you need it. Let the record reflect that, how many is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 of us are present in the chamber. 2 are on Zoom. Mayor Vaughn is at a conference, but she is on Zoom. And Councilwoman Hightower is on Zoom. So I need a motion to excuse Councilwoman Goldie Wells. So moved. Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Okay.
Aye.
Okay. Please silence any electronic devices. If you have to take a call, would you just go outside the chamber? We will begin the meeting with a moment of silence. Thank you. I'd like to ask Chuck to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, independent, with liberty and justice for all.
We welcome speakers to address council on specific agenda items during the first meeting of the month. Time is dedicated for speakers to address council on non-agenda items. Speakers are allotted 3 minutes for comments. At this time, all speaker handouts should be provided to the city clerk or courier to distribute to council. A speaker should not approach the dais unless invited by council. The City of Greensboro is committed to promoting an environment that is free of discrimination, bias, and bullying. In order to maintain a safe space for all speakers, starting today, members of the audience or speakers from the podium who intentionally disrupt the meeting or ridicule other speakers will be given a warning, and if unheeded, they will be removed from the meeting. That person will be suspended from in-person participation for 3 months. In order to preserve their right to free speech, they could attend virtually by Zoom, by phone, or by email. It is the goal of the City Council that this chamber is a welcoming space and that our residents feel empowered to bring issues or concerns before their elected officers. Zoom participants are requested to mute their microphones unless they are called upon to speak. All meeting attendees are expected to respect speakers and council deliberation. People disrupting the meeting will be removed from the meeting. By statute, council members must vote on all items unless there's a direct financial interest or if they sit on a board of a nonprofit receiving funding from the city. All votes will be moved and seconded, and the mayor or mayor pro tem will announce the votes. We have a consent agenda for items G1 through G11, which are a grouping of agenda items that are voted on in one single vote to expedite what we believe to be routine and non-controversial issues. Any council member may withdraw an item from the consent agenda due to a conflict of interest or for the purpose of voting no. Items removed from the consent agenda for discussion will be placed on the November 21st, 2023 City Council business agenda. This meeting does include closed caption Lastly, depending on the length of tonight's meeting, we'll take a short break around 7:30. We have been requested to remove agenda item G5, which is a resolution awarding contract to OU Chavis Contracting Corporation in the amount of $700,000 for the city attorney's office to review this. And so I need a motion.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Mayor? Mayor?
Aye. Aye. Yes, thank you.
Hightower?
Aye.
Okay. And so that will be removed, and you all will let us know when it's going to get back on the agenda, if so. Okay. This is the time for the ceremonial presentation items. And the first item is a resolution honoring the late Katie Moore Narcott. Ms. Councilwoman Hightower was going to read this, but she asked that I read it since she couldn't be here in person. So I will do so.
Thank you.
Whereas on August 4th, 2023, the community lost an outstanding community member with the passing of the late Katie Moore Norcott. Whereas a native of Greensboro, Mrs. Norcott was born May 15, 1953, and served in the church and community as a young child. Whereas Ms. Norcott graduated from James B. Dudley High School, earned a bachelor's degree in managerial psychology from High Point College, and continued advancing her education with a Master's of Arts in Public Service Leadership from Capella University. Whereas she dedicated 46 years of service to Piedmont Health Services and Sickle Cell Agency, holding diverse roles, including the executive director. Whereas Ms. Norcott was a member of United Institutional Baptist Church, served on the usher board, as the usher board president. Later, she was instrumental in the establishment of Manasseh Baptist Church, where she served as chairman of the Board of Trustees and Administration. Whereas Ms. Norcott served various boards and local organizations, including Forsyth Community Sickle Cell Advisory Board, United Way African American Leadership, William DeLashman Apartments, North Carolina Governor's Appointed Council on SCD, Mustard Seed Community Health, American Red Cross, Charlotte Sickle Cell Advisory Board, United Way of Greensboro, founding member of United Way Greater Greensboro's African American Affinity, and High Point's United Way, Sickle Cell Disease Association of America, Greensboro Beautiful, at-large representative, National Institute of Health, Triad Health Project, NIA Community Outreach Center, Healthy Start, Sickle Cell Data Collection Group, North Carolina Council on Sickle Cell Syndrome, appointed as a member by Governor Cooper, AIDS Education Training Center Program, AETC Living Well with Sickle Cell Support Group in Fayetteville Region, Advocates for Sickle Cell Education, Services and Support, Department of Noose Pamlico Women's Sound Coalition out of New Bern, North Carolina Duke Advisory Board, UNCG Dr. James Little, Guilford Nonprofit Consortium, Leadership Development and Opioid Workforce Expansion Program, Joint Symposium, Approaches to Prevention, Treatment, Recovery in 2021 and beyond. Whereas she was awarded the Service United Award, which recognized her volunteer leadership, commitment to innovation by United Way of Greater Greensboro in April of 2023. Whereas Ms. Norcott will be remembered for her willingness to help others, along with her commitment to fair and equitable justice. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Greensboro that the City Council wishes to express its sense of loss and offer its sincere condolence to her family. And we want to express how grateful we are for the countless years of dedication to community service by Kathy Moore Narcott. The legacy she leaves will be remembered not only by the residents of Greensboro, but nationally as well. And if she has family, if she have family here, we will do a copy of this to you in a few minutes. I just want to say, Sharon, I want you to move this, but I wanted to just say, I was in my car day before yesterday, listening to National Public Radio when they made the announcement that they found a cure for sickle cell anemia, not a treatment, a cure. And I thought about Kathy, and I thought about all the work she had done and how happy she must be in the great beyond. So, Sharon, if you will make the motion.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I'm honored to make the motion to move the resolution for my friend, my neighbor, and colleague in this work. So, I'll make my comments after we vote.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Council will vote. And that passes 8-0, and I'm sure it would be 9-0 if Ms. Wells were on this call. Sharon, if you want to say something before I give this to the family, go ahead.
Thank you again, Mayor Pro Tem, and you read that beautifully. Kathy dedicated herself to a life of sickle cell anemia work. And I would like to hope and pray and believe that when she got into heaven, she demanded they find a cure, and they have. And that is such an honor and tribute to her. But for some people, they live their life with various jobs in different positions. But Kathy had this job since 1977. That is a long, long time to be committed to one particular career. Very outstanding, very stellar, a sweet individual. And so I will miss her dearly, in the neighborhood. She represented our community, Greensboro Beautiful, as an at-large representative. So the things you see at Gateway Garden are because of Kathy, because she was our voice there, because we didn't have representation, and she volunteered to do that. And so that is most appreciative. So every time I look at that garden, I think of Kathy as I ride through the neighborhood. So thank you, family, for sharing Miss Kathy Norcott with us. She will be missed, but never, ever forgotten. Her legacy will long, outlive her memory problem. Thank you.
Madam Mayor Pro Tem, if I might.
You might.
I had the distinct honor and pleasure of working with Kathy Norcott. We served together both in the United Way's African American Leadership Group. She was already there when I got there, but I knew who the force was when I walked in the room. Kathy always had a way of making sure that we did the right thing the right way all the time. And I'm just very, very appreciative of that, very, very appreciative of her friendship, and we'll miss her well.
Will the family meet me at the podium, please?
Well, on behalf of the family, her church members, and Be My Health Services and Sickle Cell, we want to thank you all for loving my mom. We want to thank y'all for a friendship with my mom. Trust and believe. Community service was a do in her household, okay? We grew up knowing that we had to do community service, and so her legacy shall and will live on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming, and we certainly loved her and appreciated everything she did. And she's up there dancing because we found a cure, so she's happy. E2 is a resolution proclaiming November the 15th through December 31st, 2023 as buy local season. And Councilwoman Thurm, if you will read that.
Sure. Whereas the celebration of all local independent businesses has begun in the Triad area, whereas Triad Local First, a nonprofit organization, educates and advocates for citizens about investing in the local economy and provides networking and other opportunities for local business owners, farmers, and supporters of the Buy Local movement. Whereas independent businesses create wealth by engaging local citizens in the production, marketing, and consumption of goods, as well as contributes tax dollars that are reinvested in the community. Whereas spending at local businesses can have a positive impact for local entrepreneurs and assist in keeping their doors open. Whereas small businesses generate $68 of local economic return for every $100 spent with them. Whereas businesses with fewer than 500 employees account for 99.7% of all U.S. employers. Whereas 61% of Americans shop at a local business due to unique product selection, 56% of workers at locally owned businesses have high commitment scores, 73% of shoppers trust a local business based on positive reviews. Local businesses generate 70% more local economic activity per square foot than big box retail stores. And small businesses donate 250% more to the community causes as compared to large businesses. And now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Greensboro that November 15th through December 31st is hereby proclaimed Buy Local season for 2023. I'd like to move the item.
Second.
Council will vote.
Mayor Pro Tem, I believe there's some people that are here to.
Oh, go right ahead.
Councilmember
I haven't gotten
Hightower.
the count yet. Mayor, it's 8 to 0.
Thank you.
Thank you all for recognizing the importance of supporting local businesses. As I say, it's a better option for people than funding someone's private space program. So we encourage all the residents of Guilford County. We have a local business owner here, the Old Mill of Guilford. They always appreciate it when we purchase there and donate to causes in our city, and that's just one example out of the many thousands. So we thank you for appreciating all the local businesses here.
Thank you for all the work that you all do to support our small businesses.
Okay. E3 is a resolution honoring the 90th anniversary of the Greensboro Parks and Recreation Department. And Councilwoman Abuzawader, would you read that?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. I'm reading this. Mayor Vaughn was going to read this, but with her being out of town, she asked if I would read this, and I'm very honored to do so. Whereas in 1919, the Playground and Recreation Association of America visited Greensboro and urged city leaders to develop parks and recreation opportunities in order to live up to its identity as a progressive city. Whereas in 1923, the Greensboro Camp and Playground Association was formed to plan a recreation program including future parks, playgrounds, and swimming pools. And over the next decade, it worked to create these facilities and offer recreation activities. Whereas in November 1933, City Council officially appointed the Greensboro Recreation Commission, which helped to create the city's professional parks and recreation department, hire its first director, and acquire land for the purposes of providing leisure activities for residents. Whereas today, 90 years later, the Greensboro Parks and Recreation Department and its 550-plus full and part-time employees stand as a model among their professional peers across the nation, having been nationally accredited by the Commission for Accreditation of Park and Recreation Agencies, and was awarded the Academy for Parks and Recreation Administration and National Recreation and Park Association Gold Medal in 1979, 1987, 2002, and 2020. Whereas Parks and Recreation manages 9,000 acres of parkland and open space featuring 175 facilities, including regional, community, neighborhood parks, recreation centers, active adult centers, swimming pools, gardens, lakes, cemeteries, golf courses, athletic complexes, fields and courts, and more than 100 miles of trails and greenways. Whereas annually, the department draws over 4 million visitors, hosts sports tourism, producing events resulting in over $50 million in economic impact, leads hundreds of innovative programs for individuals of all ages, and provides or facilitates unique special events that bring the whole community together. Whereas Parks and Recreation enjoys a positive reputation among community members who contribute more than 27,000 volunteer hours annually and regularly approve bond packages to enhance existing facilities. Whereas Parks and Recreation is guided by its Plan to Play, comprehensive plan to continue to enhance the department's existing assets, expand offerings by strengthening partnerships and creating transformational programs, and connect communities with a vibrant, healthy, and equitable park system through ongoing public input and engagement for all generations and neighborhoods for another 90 years. And now, therefore, be it resolved by the City of Greensboro that the City Council wishes to express its sincere appreciation and gratitude to the staff and partners of the Greensboro Parks and Recreation Department for 90 years of dedicated service, and to the community for its support of this important institution. That a copy of this resolution shall be delivered to the Director of Parks and Recreation to be shared with the staff and Parks and Recreation Commission as a symbol of the gratitude of the people of Greensboro. Adopted this the 6th day of November, and Mayor Vaughn, would you like to motion that resolution?
Yes, so moved.
And I will
Thank you.
second it. Thank you. And if Phil Fleshman, the Director of Parks and Recreation, would come up.
No,
and
give me a minute.
Oh,
All in favor.
guess
It's
we need to
time to
vote
vote,
first.
Council.
Councilmember Hightower.
Yes.
And that passes 8-0.
Thank you. And we have
Right ahead.
Phil Fleshman, Director of Parks and Recreation, and Kobe Riley is also. And I believe that there are, you could recognize them, Mr. Fleshman, I believe there are people with Parks and Recreation Commission in the audience as well.
We do. We have Scott Neely representing the Parks and Recreation Commission and other commission members watching online. And we have a whole row of Greensboro Parks and Recreation staff. If you would please stand and be recognized. Thank you, and others watching online as well. Good evening, Mayor Vaughn, Mayor Pro Tem Johnson, and members of the City Council. Thank you for recognizing Greensboro Parks and Recreation tonight. I would like to acknowledge and thank each of you, all current City Council members, as well as our Greensboro Parks and Recreation Commission, our City Manager, and City Manager's Office team for your leadership and steadfast support of Parks and Recreation. We are known as a city with a strong Parks and Recreation system, and we have many park amenities that other cities of our size would simply love to have. This is made possible because of your dedication to Parks and Recreation here, combined with the many efforts and perseverance of previous leadership, yes, over 90 years. In fact, tomorrow is the 90th anniversary of the founding of Parks and Recreation. I would also like to thank our community. We are here to serve you today just as we have been over the past decades. We wouldn't have the Parks and Recreation Department that we have if it wasn't for your support and participation. Get outdoors, participate in a program, learn a new skill, volunteer, engage with us, and let us know what you'd like to see. We are here to provide for you and your household. Finally, to some of our staff who are here tonight, who I already recognized, and so many more, our team is very talented and dedicated. It's second to none, and I'm honored to serve alongside all of you. Every day you enhance, expand, and connect our community. Thank you. I also want to acknowledge staff from other city departments. We could not do what we do as a Parks and Recreation agency without the involvement of every other city department and their staff. Thank you as well. So you have a couple of things on the dais up there, and for those of you joining online, Mayor Vaughn and Councilmember Hightower and Councilmember Wells, you all will receive this, but we do have our annual report, which is hot off the press, so please take a look at that. We have this in an electronic version as well, if you would like to receive it. Talks a lot about what we've been able to accomplish over the last year and what to look forward to in this current year. You also have a wonderful picnic blanket that we hope you will take out to one of the parks, gardens, trails, lakes, somewhere outdoors this fall and enjoy. Finally, we'd like to invite council members to join our staff tomorrow as we celebrate this milestone at Country Park Shelter 4 at 1 p.m. If you're available, please feel free to stop in for some refreshments. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And Madam Mayor Pro Tem and Mayor Vaughn and everyone in attendance, I just wanted to say, you know, as a family, there are so many things that Parks and Rec offers. I can speak from my own personal experience. When my children were small, they were at all the recreation centers, wherever we lived in town, went on the trails, went hiking, all of the amenities that are at the recreation centers. And as they were coming along, the sports programs, all of the activities with the sports programs in the recreation centers. You know, we had football, basketball, soccer. I mean, it was everything a family could ever want is in our city, in our Parks and Recreation department. So thank you all. And I know Chris Wilson used to be director of Parks and Rec. He is now deputy city manager. Nasha McCrae, who is now assistant city manager, used to be director of Parks and Recreation. And of course, Phil Fleischman came back to Greensboro, and we are so thankful. And Kobe and everyone else and all the staff, we just appreciate you so much. So thank you.
Yes.
Just to
And
add
so I'm on, oh, go ahead, Tammy.
just to
Was that Tammy?
add one thing. And just flipping through these numbers and the annual report, it's amazing to me and also very satisfying that the economic impact of our sports events at our parks listed, and these are our events, was $59.3 million. That's just amazing to me, and we've had over 3.7 million park visitors. active adults, which we talk about so much. We think of Parks and Rec as for the kids. Over 41,000 active adult participants. So there's some really impressive numbers on here, and I want to just thank those of you that work so hard with our parks to make it our parks something that all the citizens of Greensboro can enjoy, regardless of their age or location. So thank you.
Councilmember Hightower.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I just also wanted to give kudos to our Parks and Rec staff, our top leadership all the way down to the guy who rakes the leaves and makes sure that the parks are neat and clean, because they are a committed group of individuals who work very hard. It's some of the best work that our tax dollars pay for. When you talk about investment. So we invest in quality of life, and our Parks and Rec staff ensures that is just something that everyone, regardless of their socioeconomic status, are able to enjoy. Because for those who can't pay, we make it possible for them to still enjoy, whether we do it through volunteer scholarships or we make sure that no one, no child, no adult even, is left out of being a part of our Parks and Recs department. So, yeah, our parks are good, but everybody enjoys them. They are really awesome. Probably we all need to take more advantage of it than we do. I'm probably guilty of that as well, but I want to thank everyone from the top down for the hard work they do and have done over the years. So, thank you.
All right. Now is the city manager's report, and I'm going to refer to Larry and Nasha for whatever report.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Well,
and I'm going to ask.
I don't think Trey was going to do. The two of them were going to do it. They told me ahead of time.
So I'm going to ask ACM Nasha McCray to provide you a brief update on the doorway project.
Thank you, and good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and members of council. As you all are aware, winter season is slowly approaching. We had a little bit of a cold spell with some warm weather for the next couple of days, but we are very excited to launch the second year of our doorway project, which is our pallet shelter, our temporary housing winter shelter program that launched last year. We are doing this in partnership with the Interactive Resource Center, who is the program administrator on site. In your biweekly report that our city manager sent out last week, we provided a very brief update, but wanted to just let you know and keep you informed as we move through the first week of full implementation. As of last week, all of the shelter structures, all of the buildings, everything has been completed. All of the infrastructure is in place. And as of earlier today, we received word from the Interactive Resource Center that they were beginning to move in the first round of residents. This, again, is a program that will run through the winter. It will conclude in April, and it's only meant to be a temporary low-barrier method that we put in place to help our unhoused during the winter cold months. And so as the week continues to progress and additional residents are moved in, we'll be prepared to provide a more comprehensive update for you, concluding the first week, but wanted to let you know that we are all squared away for today.
Thank you. Okay, now is the time for speakers from the floor on non-agenda items, and this is an opportunity to hear from anyone wishing to speak. Generally, this is time of listening for the council, but I'm going to start with the Zoom people and then go to the people who are here. And if you're here, if you can, as I call your name, move over on the speaker side. I call it the speaker side. First, I'm going to apologize to Shanita Watts. Shanita, your name is on the speakers list. I didn't know it was there, but I want to give you an opportunity to say whatever you wish about, I think it's your sister.
Mayor Pro Tem, she actually did not join the Zoom link.
Okay, we'll roll right on along. First Zoom speaker is Prosophony. Is that how I pronounce that? Outlaw.
And Miss Outlaw has not joined either.
Okay, Billy Belcher, Dale Stone, and Louis Medina. In that order. Mr. Belcher, are you on?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, I'm Billy Belcher from WOA, the Working Class and Houseless Organizing Alliance. And tonight I am asking the City of Greensboro to pass a resolution officially supporting a ceasefire in the Israeli bombardment of Gaza and demanding a permanent end to the illegal blockade of Gaza and an end to U.S. military aid to Israel. The act of Palestinian resistance, known as Al-Aqsa Flood, was itself retaliation for waves of Israeli settler violence against Palestinians and the murder of hundreds of Palestinians just this year by the Israeli government. It in no way justifies this one-sided bombardment and ethnic cleansing that is currently happening. Israel has killed more civilians in Gaza over the last month than Russia has killed in Ukraine in nearly 2 years. Israel is targeting homes and hospitals and schools and churches and refugee camps and evacuation centers. They're intentionally wiping out the children of Gaza in violation of international law and all human decency. Israel is an apartheid state. That is no longer a radical or debatable point. In recent years, Israel has been labeled an apartheid state by mainstream NGOs like Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch. According to existing U.S. law, military aid cannot be sent to foreign states committing gross violations of human rights. Greensboro should pass a resolution demanding a ceasefire in Gaza, an end to the Gaza blockade, and an end to all military aid to apartheid Israel. I also think it is our city's leadership that has a duty to make it clear that Palestinian resistance is not anti-Semitism. It is the worst liable to equate opposing the Zionist apartheid state with violence towards those who are Jewish. Zionists must not be allowed to claim victimhood while carrying out another Holocaust in Gaza. There are only two options: a free Palestine or an end to Palestine and the end of the Palestinian people, which is why we say from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, which simply means that from river to sea, Palestinians and Israelis, Jews and Muslims, Arabs and non-Arabs shall live in harmony, free of oppression.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dale Stone, are you there?
Resistance is not anti-Semitism. Worst liable to equate
Hearing an echo.
Go ahead.
Okay. There's a weird audio issue, but hi, Dale Stone with WOA. Sorry to disrupt y'all's meeting again, but we're still here. You may have vanished from your chamber, but we're still active where we need to be, which is in the community that you claim to represent. And my question for you tonight is, like, how do you represent this community exactly? Is it by doing what Councilman Matheny did recently, which was going on a stroll in Center City Park, taking pictures of folks who were forced to sleep outside while complaining about the return on investment that the city is investing? Hightower actually had a point here when she told Matheny in an email that going out and taking selfies is not providing resources. Are you all representing the community when you work to get more surveillance cameras installed downtown, as Matheny is currently doing? Matheny has been in conversation with the police about Greensboro's real-time intelligence center and what this project can already visualize downtown and what security enhancements would be the most effective. We know that what he really cares about are the business owners that he actually represents. Meanwhile, we're seeing the crisis worsen by the day. There's more poverty, more hunger, more evictions, more and more tents are appearing around the city, more people are having to live in their cars, more and more people are in need. And why is this happening? I think City Council knows, and if they didn't before, if they really were ignoring community members informing them for years about the housing crisis, they did just listen to a presentation at their last work session or an academic with a fancy title informed them that, quote, there is a group at the lower end of the economic ladder that is being left behind. Council was directly told that the homeownership rate is declining across the city, and they were told that at least some of the reasons for that. We are currently at the stage where the least expensive homes are the least likely to be owned by lower income households. Affordable houses actually have the highest denial rates for loans. 70% of properties that are less than $100,000 in Greensboro are purchased fully with cash, which means they're bought by landlords and then rented out as investment properties. People are not buying houses, corporations are. People can't afford to live because landlords are buying up the cheapest properties and then turning them around and renting them out at prices higher than a mortgage payment. 1 in 4 households in this city pay over half of their income just in rent. As of last year, just 2 dozen firms have bought more than 40,000 properties in North Carolina. Corporate landlords currently own a quarter of the rental home market. This is obscene. There is currently a bill in the state legislature that is aimed at reining in this monopolization of the housing market, which is directly causing the crisis of homelessness that everyone can see all around us. Supporting and implementing policies that limit the artificial inflation of home prices by landlords is the bare minimum that politicians should be doing to help their constituents. What City Council won't accept, but what is the truth, is that the reason for the mass poverty here and across the country is the profit motive. It's capitalism. It's a prioritization of money over lives. It's a system that allows landlords to own more and more property while more people live without a roof over their head. Housing, shelter is a basic necessity for life, and in any humane political economic system, in a system that was not capitalist, our representatives would act like that. Thanks.
Thank you. Luis Medina. Mr. Medina, are you on?
I'm trying to be. What do I got to do to get on?
Turn your camera on.
You're good.
I'm good. Good to go. Hello, I'm Luis Medina. I'm with the Working Class and Houses Organizing Alliance. I just recently, or at the last city council, Chuck Watts made an accusation that we are attempting to represent people that do not exist, that we don't actually represent anybody, that we're just some sort of political dissident, and that city council actually, as elected officials, right, represent the people in general, right? And I would like to address this claim, all right, because the other claim was that we are attempting to usurp democracy. First, we're not attempting to usurp democracy because this isn't democratic, right? Just as city council claims to represent all the people, they have to recognize that what they're saying here is that they both represent landlords and they represent tenants. They represent people who are trying to make profit and workers who are trying to survive. They represent the big conglomerate people who are buying up all this property and the houseless population. And that's just not possible, right? Those interests are in complete opposition, right? There is no there's no space in negotiation, right, between these two groups. And that's kind of the problem, right? Because if the dollar is king, then, well, y'all go with the rich. It makes as little sense as saying that you represent the predator and the prey. It's just senseless. Now, I'll say we do represent. This really comes down to how these type of forces, the city government, right, and we claim to represent, how we claim to identify the people. What do we mean by the people? Well, we don't mean landlords, CEOs, politicians. We don't mean cops. We don't mean people who are just satisfied with the status quo. We don't mean the people who are completely complacent while stepping over other struggling people in the street, right? We represent the people. Those people don't need representatives. They're okay. They're fine. We represent the people who are struggling, the people we see every week who are suffering without water, without clothes, without shelter. We represent people who are looking for a livable wage, more than livable wage. People want to flourish. People want to look at a future.
30 seconds.
30 seconds, huh? Okay. We represent those people, and those are the only people that people should be worried about because they are the sign of if a system is successful or not, right? People, and those people, a lot of people, I mean, they're not going to come to city council, right? They're too busy trying to survive on the street, the place that you put them. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Cheryl Cornish, and then Markle Stevens, and then Carol Cotter. Are they here? Okay, are you here? Okay. Next we have Tanner Stutz, Gerardo Lugo, and Robert Hoke.
Good evening, Mayor Vaughn and Greensboro City Council. My name is Tanner Stutz, and I am a senior at UNC Chapel Hill, and I'm here discussing the concerns that I've heard of people in colleges at Greensboro. We have concerns that the priority of the City Council is in favor of large corporations that are pushing small businesses, especially around Tate Street. I've spoken to anonymous people, managers, and business owners on Tate Street that say constantly, every week, they face, people coming to them like, how much money are you making? How much money are you making? Oh, we're going to buy you out. We're going to buy you out. Constantly. They're being harassed by large corporations that wish to develop these areas in a way that will not be accessible to students. They want to put more expensive food items along Tate Street that will not be accessible to students. People going to UNCG don't have the money to eat a luxury lunch or a luxury dinner every single night. We simply just don't have that money. In addition, the McKays provided education. We were able to get cheap books. We were able to go there as not only part of recreation, but part of our education as well. We were able to access cheap books, but now it's gone. Does the City Council wish to invest in another business that provides the same type of support for lower income people? Because we, the students, don't see anything like this. We see constantly zoning being in favor of large developers who push out small businesses. Constantly. I have my friend here with me, Gerardo Lugo from UNCG, who also was going to share his experience after me. And we ask, as the students of Greensboro, for you to put the people of Greensboro before business interests. We ask that you please look at it from our shoes. We don't have cars. Some of us don't have access to the things that you might have access to. We aren't able to drive all the way to Mebane, all the way to Winston-Salem. These aren't accessible areas. Not all of us can make it to the public library. Not all of us have access to these amenities that you claim serve everyone. When you have an attack on small businesses throughout the city, you don't have a city. You don't have a community. Thank you.
Is Mr. Lugo here? I know. Tonight.
Hello. Before I begin, I do want to specify real quick that it's pronounced Gerardo. Don't mean to be that person. I just heard my name mispronounced almost every day of my life, and I would like to try to clear it up. But
well, Gerardo, I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. You're good. My name is Gerardo Lugo. Good evening, Mayor Vaughn and the City Council of Greensboro. I am a UNCG student graduating, and I would like to talk about some issues that my friend Tanner Stutz has mentioned before. As an individual who has been evicted from his house previously, back in my senior year of high school, I know the issues that come with businesses trying to buy out property from many different houses and areas to create bigger businesses and land. Specifically, the one topic that I would like to discuss is with Friendly Avenue and how Glenn Drew is trying to buy the property to invest in townhouses. So again, I was evicted back my senior year of high school with my family, and the property that used to be our house now is nothing but townhouses that we can't afford, that many people can't afford either. And it's unfair to many citizens trying to buy or rent affordable housing. It's just not possible in this economy right now. The other issue that I would like to take part in as being a UNCG student is the budget cuts happening to my college. So coincidentally enough, I also transferred from a school that was suffering with financial help, and now I'm seeing it with UNCG as well. And it's very unfair for my peers who are stuck in the situation where many of their degrees and anything that they want to study is now being cut because UNCG doesn't have the financial aid to back it up and support it. I have some friends of mine who transferred from Charlotte and High Point saying that they really liked UNCG. However, with these new budget cuts happening, they simply don't know what to do. They don't know whether to transfer over to a different degree or to go back to where they came from, which was High Point and Charlotte and many other places. I just don't think it's fair that we, Greensboro doesn't have enough money to help this school that many people consider, the heart of Greensboro at times. And a third issue that I would like to talk about is similar to what my friend Tanner said, which was the McKay's location. Now, I understand that, McKay wants a bigger area, bigger space. That's why they're moving to Medben. I completely understand that. However, I also would like to know if there's any way we can at least keep a small portion of McKay, maybe help it get some more, put some more money into it and keep one in Greensboro, make another one in Medben. Because Medben's 35 minutes away, and some people just don't have access to go all the way 35 minutes away, or even 20 minutes away, because there's one in Winston-Salem. And I just think that these issues need to be resolved as quickly as possible, because, I love Greensboro, and I don't want to see people struggle with it in the same way I'm seeing it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Is Robert Hoke? Robert Hoke? No. Okay, next we have Ben Holder, Aisha Anderson Rodriguez, Malik Hogue, and Ronald Harris.
My name's Ben Holder. Did you get my little piece of paper I gave you? Everybody got one? I came in April and told y'all you had a human trafficking problem. It's not that unique. Most cities have one. But I gave several locations, several ideas, several everythings, and 100% of it's come to fruition. You don't have any more illicit massage businesses in Greensboro. Landlord engagement on my part got rid of 2 of them. The other landlord did his on his own after it was raided by the big police investigation. Woo, it was big. Homeland Security and everything. In one of the arrests in Greensboro, a 59-year-old woman, immigrant Chinese woman, probably a victim, forced, fraud, coercion, tricked into the illicit massage industry. I tried to teach y'all as much as I could about it when I made some videos. You probably didn't watch it because you really don't pay attention to anything these people say. However,
that's not true.
Well, okay. So you know then, Miss Johnson, that what I said was most of these women, or all of these women, they're not prostitutes, as y'all would like to paint the picture that they are. In April, one of the things that I said so eloquently, so nicely, so calmly, was you don't need to get naked and entrap these women anymore. I said that. No need to. Massage without a license law, running a massage establishment without a license, all of that, same thing. However, Greensboro police notes, on or about the date of the offense shown and in the county named above, the defendant unlawfully and willfully did perform sexual act as defined General Statute 14-22, grabbing detective's penis with hand to promote stimulation. Sexual contact is defined as General Statute 14-22, rubbing crotch on the back of the detective's head for the purpose of sexual arousal or gratification for money. So this woman's trapped in this place on Guilford College Road, and she has to perform sex acts to make money because she's nickel and dime for everything else. They charge her for rent. She lived in the building. They get the money that they pay to get the massage. She literally has nothing. She has to do this. 30 seconds. So you should not ever, in any circumstance, and other cities, other counties, other states, people that care, they don't allow it. But your cop got naked, laid on a table. This poor woman gave him a massage. And Trey Davis, can you come up here and talk about the procedure for getting naked in a massage parlor? Come on up, Trey. Or just sit there and be quiet.
Thank you.
Your time is up.
Good evening, everyone. First and foremost, I would like to thank God. First and foremost, I would like to say I want to thank God, just plain and simple, and I would like y'all to pronounce my name correctly as well. It's Ashia Anderson Rodriguez. Okay. The first topic I want to start on is the RRC building. Okay. When I first came here from Connecticut, that was the first place I went to, was the RRC building. And it did help me out and a couple of other people. That was 13 years ago. Now, 13 years later, it's a hot mess, okay? I have all these people right here behind me and more. But all these donations that y'all are donating that are not getting to the unsheltered people. Last year, me and my daughter, as you can see, she's on my shirt. Me and her was out there serving the unsheltered people last year. Now this year, I am out there with the unsheltered people. So therefore, I'm also, as you could say, an Army brat of a veteran. My friend right here, she's an Army brat too. She's also a military veteran as well. So with kids, I have kids. So not only that, let's go to the system. My 15-year-old, Father's Day weekend, there was 3 cases of 3 15-year-olds. Us parents took their phones. 2 parents got killed. I was the only one that saved myself. But y'all charged me for a strangulation and child abuse. Then the system took my 4-year-old. She just turned 4, October 28th. Y'all gave her to somebody, her father, that y'all allowed to put a 50B out on me. And I couldn't say happy birthday to my baby on Facebook, not even talk or anything. So now I don't know where my 4-year-old is at, okay? Y'all gotta be insane. Y'all just gotta be insane to do that to people, because y'all just take people, kids, and y'all just give them to people that can't even afford to keep housing. But I did. Up until I got charged. I was all the people that was serving you guys in all these restaurants. I was the manager, the assistant managers. Y'all come to Popeyes, Wendy's, Burger King, Wendy's down at Adams Farm. I was that lady that served you guys.
Miss Aisha.
Ashia.
It's the county that has jurisdiction and the courts, not
Okay,
us.
but I'm just speaking for other people, and you got other people that's going to come behind me. But I'm just saying, the county and the councilman and the courts, y'all are in charge of that.
No,
I don't know what y'all in charge, but y'all
need
to fix y'all people that y'all paying.
The legislature in Raleigh has charged that.
Well, that's
We
what I
don't.
was told. That's what I was told.
Well, you got told to tell.
Okay, I do apologize.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello.
If I cry, please don't acknowledge it. It's just natural humanity because my heart is broken. This is my first time to Greensboro, and I'm so disappointed in the city. As a resident, I'm a travel nurse. Okay, I've got 3 children, 3 grown-ass children, 21, 14, and 13, and we're a family. And I will not have them out here on the streets. Okay, it is freezing. It's so hot in the daytime. It's so cold at night. You sleep on this concrete. My mom broke my legs growing up. My hips hurt so bad. I've had sleep in 3 days. I'm telling you, please, if I was warm, if I had somewhere soft to sleep, you wouldn't have so many angry people out here. Greensboro is a beautiful city. I commend you on that, okay? The volunteers, I commend you on that because Salisbury doesn't have that, okay? Jersey doesn't have that. Y'all have the support of the community behind us, and y'all have it. I want to be behind y'all. Everybody that's ever given to me where I'm at now, I'm at that white flag place when it gets cold, and y'all need to lower that up that temperature because it was freezing last night. It's closed on the weekends. There's nowhere for people to go. And then you got people running off. We can't put our tents. Where do you want us to go? You can send our people to war, but you can build a parking lot, but you can't build a parking lot for people to go and be safe. Where's the security? The security's asleep in their cars. The security's not doing their job. There's nobody checking these people and holding them to accountable. Okay? At the shelter where I'm at, there's workers that are so angry. And I feel like if I say prejudice, then I'll be prejudiced. But I feel like because of the color of my skin and my presence, I was discriminated against and thrown out. I've not had a shower. I still got Halloween color in my hair. She said I was the threat. And even though she saw the problem, a professional coworker, I am a professional. I've been to prison. I've done time. We all have. We make mistakes. We move on. We have children. We grow. Okay? At the end of the day, long story short, I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for 14 years. I'm a licensed practical nurse. And because I have a background, I was 16 years old. I've been on my own since I was 13. All I did was what I was told, and what I know is to feed me. At the end of the day, it's human needs, basic needs. We got to eat. You got to sleep. You got to excrete your urine in your bladder and your bowels. There's certain things you got to do, but also at the end of the day, the number one golden rule, do unto others as you want done unto yourself. And this Greensboro community, I've been here travel nursing, but I've only been to the hospitals and the nursing homes, okay? I've never been so disrespected a day in my life as I had the last 7 days. My mom just died last Monday. I still chose to come here and be homeless because I don't have transportation. My truck was stolen in Salisbury. At the end of the day, I went out and got me a job because when I got to this place, there's no security. All my mama's shit was gone. Excuse my language. They got stolen. No accountability at all. If that lady would have just done her job. And I know who did it because...
Thank you for
Thank
sharing.
you very much. I appreciate y'all.
Hello, City Council. My name is Malik Huff. Y'all might know me as the one and only street advocate for my own homeless community. You can see my people back here. They all came out tonight because we all came out to have this. And I want to let y'all know that tonight, a lot of my homeless members, after we have lost so many people, I am now sticking up that I want everybody to be placed in a shelter by the end of next year. And no matter how much we got to do to put the hotel rooms, how much we got to do to put the White Houses, do what we got to do to make this city a better place for us, for the homeless. I know y'all want us out from downtown, but now it's time for us to stand up. We gonna stand up for together. And now I'm out here back again in front of y'all because I want to see change from our own homeless community. I got everybody to come out with me, most of the ones that could come out tonight. We want to make sure we change. We want to put a better place for my own homeless community. We want to stop seeing them sleeping outside, sleeping in the parks, sleeping at tents. I done had to take pictures today of tents on the IRC grounds. And now I want to get my people off the streets. And now next year, I'm putting together a project. It's the biggest project in Greensboro that I'm about to bring to the streets. It's called Beauty in the Streets. And I'm about to make it happen because I want to put all my people that's here tonight, and I want to thank half of my people for coming out tonight because we couldn't do this without half of my people to get together, to come together. And I love them. And I want to let y'all know, this time, it's got to be a change for all the pilot houses, all the hotels. We need more places. We want that hotel that we just see the hurry up and get done. Now it's time for us to change that. We need something bigger. We need something because shelter, it's too many of us out here that's on these streets. I have too many people that I have talked to, too many people I've been working with. I've been working with other agencies to come in and help me. I've been having to call in outsiders to come in, even people from dorm, even people from other areas that I have connections with. I had to call my one of my head of the Arc of Greensboro to come in on it. I had people to come in and talk to me about it. I've had to try to put together a plan. And now I want to see us by next year to everybody be housed in apartments and paid for, be put up in places that they can be warm at and sleep at night. No emotionally, you see people crying, emotionally sadness, but I don't want to see how people getting freezing and cold. I don't want to see how people sleeping out there in the streets. Hoffman, thank you for coming out to the park the other day when you did come out. Thank you. Next ones I want to see. That's what I want to see. I want to see more of my city members come out there. Come out and be a part of the only. See what's going on. Talk to us. Come out. Be out there so you can be engaged. I've been trying to stand and have more y'all come out there and engage with us, and it's time for a change. Thank y'all.
How y'all doing? City
Fine,
Council?
how are you?
My name Ronald Harris, right? And I'm homeless. And I had a tent on the sidewalk. And Elizabeth, whatever that, I only know her name. But anyway.
Excuse me, talk right in the mic so I can hear you.
Elizabeth.
That's better.
I don't know her last name, but she stopped me on the sidewalk one day and told me that she gonna have us on a motel room by Monday, right? So we got in the motel room, and there was some people arguing downstairs, right? And they thought it was us. So the police come up to our room and say, "What's going on?" We said nothing. I opened the door. He said, "Y'all ain't been doing. I know you. You got a tent on downtown." I said, "I had one." And then he said, "No." He left. 20 minutes later, the manager come up there and said, "Elizabeth said we got to be dismissed." So the lady I was with, she was diabetic. She real sick. So as we were going outside, she passed out in the lobby. She put us out for what? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? She just put us out. And I still haven't heard nothing, but Nancy Vaughn said she gonna try to help me out. She called me at work last Thursday, and I talked to her on the phone. So I still haven't gotten in touch with Elizabeth yet. And I'm still homeless. I don't have nothing to say. Right is right, wrong is wrong, you know what I mean? She forced me off the tent to get out the street, to go to the motel room, and I get put out. They say we was fighting, but it wasn't no fight. She was hollering on that medication, you know what I mean? She had seizures and stuff like that.
Condition.
Right. And it's all on the paperwork that she signed. Everything's on there. And I still haven't heard nothing from Elizabeth yet. I done called her, texted, I still haven't heard anything. Why me? If I knew that, I'd stayed on, kept my tent right there where it was. She forced me to go somewhere, and I went, and it didn't succeed. I got a job, but that's still not doing me no good. I'm out of the motel room. All my clothes, all the stuff got missing. It's just terrible. But the mayor said she's going to do something about it. I ain't heard nothing from her yet, though. You know? But right is right, wrong is wrong. And I saw some of y'all ladies before, too. I'm the one to be downtown at the tent down there. I'm right in front of the hot dog stand in the middle. That was my tent. It's been there since 28th of August. And he got me on the street last Monday. And look where I'm at. Still homeless.
Right.
That's all I had to say.
Thank you, Mr. Harris.
So, Mayor Pro Tem, this is Sharon. I don't really like what happened last week because it wasn't any process to it. And now this gentleman, Nasha made that report, but who are we helping with those pallet shelters? Can I understand the process? Because how are people getting on the list? How are people getting help? I was told the people taken off the sidewalks were the ones that were elderly and had some medical concern. And obviously that was the case of what this gentleman just said. However, they're in another situation. Can I get some clarity on what went on and why? Because I'm a member of the COC. Nobody at the COC knew a thing about what was happening, and was notified to be any kind of assistance or not assist, whatever. Nobody heard. I got several phone calls from people asking me what was going on, and I didn't know. So I would like to really understand what the process was that went through.
You want to know what the criteria for getting in one of the pallet houses. Is that correct, Sharon?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. McCray?
And if we have one point of
Can you
entry,
answer that?
we need to do that one point of entry, not 10 points of entry. Or
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. So I want to address a couple of points. The doorway project, those referrals will come through the IRC, and they have specific criteria that they will use to vet through. And so one of those being individuals who may have medical challenges, that may be over 65, that may have some additional case management needs. So there's a set number of several criteria that they do utilize to accept those individuals. With regards to the Center City Park incident, what we've done internally was to address some of the camping that is happening in the right-of-way, which is unlawful per the ordinance. And so in order for us to enforce that, we needed to take some immediate action to be able to relocate those individuals to give them to a landing place. What we opted to do was to do some educational pieces that particular Friday, knowing that we did have some capacity challenges over the weekend for some of our shelter stays. We did return back to the site early the following week and essentially moved those individuals into an emergency situation as a temporary stopgap measure. While we did send referrals through the COC and to the pallet shelter to make sure that those individuals could be followed up for additional case management to move either into the pallet shelter if they met eligibility requirements or additional case management services. So that is essentially what we opted to do on a very short-term period. That is correct.
Okay. Did you get that, Sharon?
I heard it, but I also have talked to some folks in this process too, and some of them were not informed on the process and how it happened. It was so I'm a little concerned still about this, and I know that IRC, because that's where they're supposed to really be the first point of entry, and even talking to them, they were concerned too as well.
Ms. McCray, can you confirm for us that there is no organization at this point officially doing street outreach? Is that correct?
That is correct.
And who have we given money to specifically for street outreach at this point? Anyone?
So we will need to come back and provide those particular details. We know that Partners Ending Homelessness was handling street outreach and was still coordinating some of those transitions. I know they've had some leadership changes with regards to street outreach, and so we'll bring that detail back to confirm that with you. But at this time, we do know, in particular with Center City Park in particular, where we've seen an increase in some individuals that are in the right-of-way. Our efforts in the last week and a half was an attempt for us to do some type of immediate measure in place to make sure that that right-of-way was not being blocked.
And do we know when Partners Ending Homelessness stopped doing their street outreach?
We'll have to bring that back to you.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to go back. Sade, is someone named Sade?
Mayor Pro Tem, may I say something?
Yeah.
And I need to
you
say
the mayor. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, thank you. You're running the meeting. You know, there have been quite a lot of discussions about who is doing outreach and who are the caseworkers. And it is my understanding is that there are no caseworkers at this point. I was told that Partners Ending Homelessness gave their money back to the COC because they were not able to do casework. You know, I know that the IRC gets a lot of criticism, but I have to say from my standpoint, they are the only people who are really stepping up and helping us. They are doing the doorway project. I know that people complain about the way their parking lot looks, and but at least they're giving people a place to go. and they are starting the 24/7 drop-off. So I do think that the IRC gets a lot of criticism that they don't deserve, because without the IRC, we would be in a lot worse shape than we are right now. We do need help from our partners, and maybe we can get another update. When the COC came in a few months ago, I think they were in a different place. I think things have changed since then. Maybe Sharon can speak to that.
And so, certain things.
Sharon, I got
Yes,
Hugh
yes.
and then you.
Okay, all right.
Hugh.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. Assistant City Manager McCray, relative to the Center City Park and the emergency temporary relocation, how many rooms were we able to secure to assist with that, and what was the overall need? Was it?
So based on staff reports, we were able to house 6 to 8 individuals, and it was just temporarily. We did get some information from an additional 20 individuals or so that did come to us looking for additional assistance. But based on the capacity of the hotel's rooms that were available at that time, we were not able to provide additional assistance. And again, it was just for the immediate individuals that we did identify from the week prior. But those additional 20 to 25 individuals, we did make referrals through COC and to the IRC for vetting through to see if they met the criteria for the doorway project.
Are they still there, or is temporary?
It's temporary, yes.
Still, okay.
Okay, Sharon, and then Councilwoman Thurm.
So let me say this, as one who's on the COC, there is street outreach. There was street outreach in the park. No, it wasn't full street outreach because they gave the money back because their workers were getting snatched into alleyways. There needs to be more money in this park to help these workers. You got women out here on the street doing street outreach. And at some points, it's dangerous for them. So you don't pay them enough money for them to be out there doing that. And so they made that decision to give the money back to do street outreach, even though the head of COC and them are talking about not giving it back to them because they are still doing the work. There is work that can be done. They went out to the park doing outreach the other day, found absolutely nobody at the park, and was told someone had taken them all to a hotel. Somebody had to go to the park to find that information out. So it certainly wasn't a ghost.
I did.
And so, excuse me. So, and then the COC actually had a meeting today, and they know that this work is very hard, no question. We've got more and more homeless people coming every single day from somewhere we do not know where. And trying to address those issues with adequate housing, really not putting people in some of those hotels, that we're putting our money down a rabbit hole, to be very honest. So we need to really look at that, but we need to be investing, and really we should be allowing the county to do this work, because they're the ones that do this work. And that's what we need to be allowing to do. But the problem keeps becoming is that we pick and choose the bits and pieces of work we want to do. But it's a comprehensive job to be done. Not just one person, not just one entity doing what they choose to want to do. All of this work, it should be a collaborative effort, and it's not. This has been going on for years. There's been animosity for years because of this very thing. We've got to realize one individual, one person is not the guru of it. It's going to take every last one of these organizations, giving them the adequate funding so they can get the case workers, social workers, outreach workers hired. to be able to do this work adequately.
Before I go to you, Ms. Thurm, what is your name, please?
Yes, my name is Shandrika Malone.
Yes, you're on this list. And I'm going to come right, let her speak and I'm going to come right back to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm a little confused because my understanding is that the PATH team at RRC does some outreach, but only limited, and we don't pay for that. That's funded outside
correct.
of the city.
That is correct. Thank you for
Okay.
clarifying.
I think if you all could convey to the city manager that we need to have a sit down and figure out where we go from here. What we're doing isn't working. We have talked extensively, and I talked extensively last time about the need for the county to participate in this more than they are. They practically aren't. I would encourage all these people that are coming to us to talk about this homeless situation, to talk to the county commissioners. They are different from us. They are charged with most of these services. They should be providing these services. The reason the city does it is because nobody else is, and because we have accepted the fact that somebody's got to take action.
Yes, ma'am.
We cannot do it ourselves, and we need you all to go to the county, just like you come to the city, and make sure they understand the situation.
We have.
On a regular basis and weekly, or monthly, excuse me, and go to them as well. Because we are ponying up a lot of money, and we could possibly be doing it differently, and we are open to doing it differently, but we need partners.
Excuse me, may I approach? May I say something, please?
You may go ahead.
Okay, so my name is Shandrika Malone. I just want to give honor to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for actually allowing me to create this movement. I actually did go to the city council last week. That's why 14 people was placed in home, because we went there as a union together. We went to the
county commission. Was it the
no,
county?
we went to the city. We actually talked to Mackenzie and Elizabeth. That's who placed them in the rooms. So we went to the city. And the city actually had me banded from the rooms that they were placed in, and had me call the police on me and told the police that they didn't want me there. Now, I'm Shandrika Malong. I'm the one who feeds them every day, hot meals. Elizabeth gave them expired food. I have pictures, I have videos of everything that has went on for the last week. And I do not like the fact that we have these unhoused individuals that are struggling consistently with the same problem. And when we was able to fix the problem, they accused these people of being loud, of being aggressive, of being outrageous at the room, and they kicked them out. So my concern is, where do I go from here? Because I have a nonprofit organization called Helping Hand Resource and Referral. So if y'all can fund my nonprofit, I can help the people. I just need the funding, because everything I'm doing right now is from my money. I'm doing it out of the kindness of my heart, because I'm a woman of God. And I feel as if, because I reached out to a few people like Ms. Johnson, the mayor. Ms. Johnson, I actually saw her and I remembered her face because I was at the last city council meeting. She told me to call her office and she would help me. Reached out to Ms. Nancy Vaughn. I never got a response. So I'm just trying to see what can I do to help the problem. I'm not here to point any fingers to anybody. I'm just here to see where could I be a part of fixing the problem. And I want to give a thank you to Mr. Hughes and Mr. Zach, because them the people I have been seeing out in the community. I never seen Miss Nancy Vaughn. I saw Miss Johnson. I got to take that back. I saw Miss Johnson out in the community as well. I never seen you, Miss Tammy, and I reached out to you because you're in my district. I never seen Miss Huffman. So I'm just trying to see what could we do as a community, because we're the face of the city, right? So we want to help these people as much as we can, because it's a lot going on within the city and within the homelessness that you guys don't know about, because they're scared to come in here because they feel like they're not wanted here because of the way they look, or because they don't have a house, or because they don't have a job, or because they don't have things that we have. So I want to be the voice for them, because I'm actually trying to put together an organization to help them. Like, this is one of the partners here, she have a no judgment nonprofit as well. So we have nonprofits that we're trying to get funded so we can help our people or God's people. So whatever y'all can do to help us, help the people, we all for it.
Nasha, would you have the information on that, what she can do? First of all, where there might be funding and how she can go about getting that, and what other things she can do. So if you will give her your information, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. And we have,
She's
we
right
have
here
her
in this-
contact information from staff because we met with the group last week. So we do
Okay.
have their contact information, but we'll be in touch.
And they informed me that there's nothing that they can do because it's all a waiting list. Everything has a waiting list to it. So they told me everything was full and they couldn't do nothing for my unhoused family. So I'm just trying to figure out, is there any other revenues? Can y'all dig in some pots that have an extra amount of money to figure out what we need to do for these people? Because you guys are saying y'all want to help, but I don't see it.
Again, I'm sorry, Mayor, you haven't spoken.
Well, you know, I think it was said earlier that it would be helpful to reach out to the county, that this is
I did.
Part of the things that they are supposed to do. They have speakers from the floor before every single meeting. I would suggest you go across the plaza and ask them. And, you know, I don't know, Sharon, if it's worth her reaching out to the COC, but definitely the county has to be a part of this discussion.
Well, I did reach out to the county, and they told me that there was nothing they can do. I spoke with Elizabeth, and Miss McKenzie introduced me.
Elizabeth is not part of the county.
She's not part of the city?
She's part of the city, but the county is a
So
different.
who is over the county that I need to reach out to?
You need to be speaking with the continuum of care.
Yes, ma'am.
And the continuum of care is a partnership of about 25 to 30 organizations that address homelessness. Open Door Ministry, Servant Center, Salvation Army is part of that.
They all have waiting lists.
Well, they can't help it because they have no room. And so they don't have any room. And one of our shelters is totally gone. We lost the Salvation Army due to some damage they had to their facility, and they had to take it down completely. So we're short. We lost 84 rooms. 84 rooms we lost. Think about it. And so right now, the homeless population is outweighing what we need to be able to give them. We've got to find a way to address it. Yes, it is a concern, but it's also a process too. Let me say this. Every one of those organizations have been certified in the work of homelessness. They've been vetted to do the homeless work. They apply for grants. That's how they get most of their funding. The city may contribute a little bit. We've offered the county some money to help fund that organization. We're going to go back to the county again and offer them additional money. But it is a collaborative effort. It's a continuum of care. And that's that particular organization specifically designed to help with this problem, with this situation. We at the city care, and that's why I think sometimes we've jumped in to help where we can, but we really don't have what is needed to address this issue. It falls up under the county.
And that's why I came to you guys, because the county that I reached out to have told me they don't have any, they can't help. So I know you guys are over the county, so I came here.
No, ma'am. We are not over the county.
No, we're not over the county. But what I suggest to you is that you go to a public meeting and sign up to speak.
So the city councils don't make decisions for the county, yes or no?
No, ma'am.
No, there are departments that the city has, and there are separate departments that the county has, like social service, Guilford
Mental
Health Care,
health.
all that's county. We don't have anything to do with that.
So
And
the city
schools-
don't fund
and
the
the
county.
schools are the counties. But go and sign up to speak, and there'll be all the county commissioners, and address the chair, Mr. Skip Alston, and say, I want to know the same thing you've asked us. Where can I go and get some help with helping?
Okay.
We don't fund the county. We don't fund the county, and we don't We aren't in charge of the county. They're two separate elected boards. We meet at separate times and in separate buildings. So anything in this building is city related.
Okay, I had spoke with Miss Elizabeth, and she informed me she was the funding over the nonprofit organizations and the county. So that's why I thought you guys.
She's with the city.
No, ma'am.
So she don't
You
fund.
mean-
She doesn't fund anything county. That is not her. That's not what she does. The city. This is the city building, and the building across the way is the county building. And so we would encourage you, since the county's charged with social services and with mental health and with physical health, they're the ones that need to be dealing with a lot of these issues. And so we would encourage you to, in addition to coming here and advocating for your people, to also advocate for them at the county, because they're the ones that get the money to do this work.
So, Nasha, will you give her Victor Isler's telephone number? He is the assistant county manager over the homeless. Give her his number, and I've already checked.
Mr. Davis, would you give her the county manager's number, please? Thank you.
And I've already sent him a text that he will be
That's something
getting
you could do.
her
Call the county manager and set up a meeting with the county manager first before you go to the commission.
Right. Do that.
I do have one question
Vic?
so I can get a better understanding. Because last time I was here and I seen that you had a call of action for the homeless shelter and for assistance. So you guys are not, so you guys made a call of action for that, but you guys are not over that, correct? Help me understand.
We contributed money to the homeless shelters and the pallet shelters and the parking lot because nobody else was.
Okay,
But
so
we're
y'all
not in
can
charge
play a
of
part.
that. Does that help clarify?
But y'all can play a part when nobody does. So you can pick when you can and can't play a part? Is that what you're saying?
No.
You know, we stepped into a gap that wasn't being filled. You know, it might be helpful if somebody could help her understand what the different buckets of government is, and this really isn't the place to do that.
No.
Madam Mayor Pro Tem.
You know,
Nancy, may I interrupt while we going
Yes, you
through
may.
all that? Skip Austin just texted me and said, give her his number.
All right, I have his number. I
Okay.
will give it to you.
Give her his, he just sent me a text because he's listening. And give her his number. He is the chair of the
I'm going
county
to give you
commission.
my card, and I'm going to give you his number, okay?
Madam
All right,
Mayor Pro
we're
Tem,
gonna
we
move
have
on.
Michelle Kennedy, who's the Director of Housing and Neighborhood Development. She's in the hallway, and since homeless prevention services fall under her purview, we can direct those to meet with her in the hallway to get their contact information, as well as to provide information for the county.
I just think we need to
Excuse
do
me.
what we just said. I'm sorry. Excuse me, Mayor Pro Tem. But see, this is the problem again. If he asks to give his number, let's follow that.
Michelle?
That's the problem right now.
All right. I think that's it.
She's next on the list.
I just wanted to ask the question.
No, we can't anymore, but if you call me, I'll try to answer it. Were you on the list to speak?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, what is your name?
Sade.
Oh, yeah, okay, come on, go on.
I just wanted to say, if everybody in here serve God, a Christianity, are y'all Christians? It matters because the help of people helping, if you're not helping with the love of God, it's never going to work.
Every religion
Matthew
helps.
5 say, blesses the poor and the humble at heart. So what I'm saying is, y'all looking for organizations, which I must have the heart of God to be able to help these people.
I don't think
it's
we're
not
all
just
Christian,
homelessness.
but I think we all,
It's not
the
just
majority of
homelessness.
us serve God.
And if you serve God, and you know you got to serve Him right, and you got to go by His laws.
Yeah.
We are not under law of our jobs and our positions, because God is higher than everybody's position in His house right now. So if you don't help with His help, then you're not helping. If you're not helping from the heart,
you're not helping. And even the words say help secretly, and he will reward you and openly. So my part, that's why my business is my nonprofit is no judgment, because it's gonna be more than homelessness that need help. It's single parents out here. It's parents out here that work every day that's trying to raise their families and can't control their kids, that's making the wrong decisions only because they can't be there with them. It's many different things that's going on right now. And with God's help, we can clean this world up, and we can help the people that need to be helped. And the only way to actually help them is to consult with God first and see how he would like you to help them and see where he wants you to put the money at. Because it seems like the only problem to fix everything is the money. And everybody in here, or most of y'all got the position or know somebody that can get the funds to help the people righteously, you know, the right way, without judgment. Because most of the people that I also help her feed them. And most of the people really didn't even want to ask anyone for help. They'd rather be on the sidewalks. When it's Walmart sell $8 blow-up mattresses. They sell $12 tents. You know, they sell little things that you can, even if you ride by the RSC building, it's just a line of tents and trash, and it just doesn't seem right when money is the only thing that can fix the world, because it's like, it ain't just homelessness. It's kids, it's out of control, it's parents and everybody that's needing help. Single parents. I'm a single parent of 8 kids right now. And, you know, trying to raise all my kids with different personalities and things, it's a struggle. And no funds, no place for my children to be able to go to without paying so much money. It's not just homelessness that need help and assistance. Because with homelessness, it's just how people get there. Without the sake of God, without the love of God, nothing can be right. And that's just that. Don't ever forget about God when you get in the positions that you're in, because he got you there.
Thank you.
So all he's asking is that you take care of his people. His people is his sheep. And he searches the inner part. When I asked a few of the people last night when I was feeding them, before you got out here, they wanted a hope in the future.
Thank you very much.
And yeah, and a lot of people, some people said they like to cut hair.
Your time is up.
And some people wanted to be a nurse.
All
but that's
right.
if they had the...
Moving along. This is the time for the consideration of the consent agenda. Are there
Move
any
the item.
of the council people who want
Second.
to take anything else? Did you move it?
Second.
Second. It's been moved and second. Council, please vote.
Mayor Pro Tem, for confirmation, that is amended, so it's adopted as amended.
Adopted as amended. Okay.
Yeah.
My vote screen hasn't come up, but I am a yes.
Okay. Sharon?
Oh, now it is.
Yes, I'm a yes.
Okay, thank you. I can't stand people preaching to me like that. They don't know what we do. And it passes 8-0. Now it's time for the public hearing agenda, and there are no public hearing. I see y'all jumping up and down. Thank you for that. All right, item L1 is a resolution to authorize contract in the amount of $363,550 with EMR Services, Inc. for the demolition of the former Hampton Elementary School site.
Move the item.
You second,
Move.
Sharon?
I moved the item. Who moved it? I didn't hear anybody.
It's Tammy. I put you down.
Move the item. It's District 1, and I've been waiting for this.
Okay, it's just moved and seconded. Council, please vote.
I'm a yes.
Mayor?
Yes. And I just have to say, this is long overdue.
Yes, it is.
This is a result of the tornado over 5 years ago, and
the fact
that
there was
neighborhood.
a garbage dump, a landfill there years and years ago. That passes 8-0.
That has been sitting in the middle of a neighborhood. It was, it's dangerous, and Sharon's worked very hard. Now we're going to have to work with the neighborhood and see what the long-term disposition of that property will be, but I am really glad to see that it is finally coming down.
Yep.
Yes, I am too. It has been too long coming. Tornado was April 2018. We are in 2023 going into 24. And it should have been down, but I do want to say I appreciate the county in supporting our argument for asking them to give us that building, and they did, because it was for the greater good of the community. I think there will be something good that will happen there, and while it may not be a school site any longer, I think the site within itself is going to really enhance the community, be a great amenity, working along with Bingham Park. And certainly we will keep the name Hampton because we know how important that Hampton name is also. So I'm glad
I'm glad to hear that, because the last superintendent, that was one of the things I recommended, that the schools that we were not able to renovate or bring back to being, that we keep named, with that we name something else in that name.
Yes.
Okay.
And yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Number L2 is an ordinance to amend Section 2-51 of the Greensboro Code of Ordinances with regard to council compensation. That mean we what, get a raise? Is there a motion? Is moved in second. Please vote, council.
Mayor Pro Tem, can you confirm who moved that for me, please?
Say what, honey? Mayor? Mayor?
Yes.
Okay. Sharon?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, and Madam Mayor, I do think it would be important for the public to understand that, no, we are not voting ourselves a big raise.
No.
And
no.
If Mr. Davis could explain that briefly, I think that would help a lot. Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Councilmember Boozawaiter. The action that Council's taking tonight does not affect your current salaries, but it does make you eligible for the city's deferred compensation program, which is something that we're seeing more and more of our peer cities provide for their elected officials. So as of with this action, you become eligible for the deferred compensation amount that our general employees receive, which is 3.25% of your salary. You also become eligible to participate in deferred compensation of your own income. So you'll now have the ability to defer up to the IRS maximum any portion of your current income that you'd like to put in a deferred comp plan.
Thank you for explaining that to our citizens, because we sure don't make no whole lot of money. I can tell y'all that now. I counted one time I was making $1 and something an hour. Anyway, all right. We're going to take a little time, and I'm going to call on the mayor first. If you have any things you want to share, please do so now.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. You know, we've had a challenging weekend this weekend. I do want to say that the A&T homecoming was a successful homecoming. There were some things that happened in the city that had absolutely, it had absolutely nothing to do with homecoming or A&T. It was not their students. It was not their alumni. There were some unsanctioned events where bad behavior happened. And I believe that they were people who came in from out of town who just wanted to take part of what they felt was the A&T mystique. And I know that when things like that happen, that A&T is very upset because it damages their brand. Mm-hmm. And it damages our brand too. We are in this together with them. I know that when A&T finds out that there's an unsanctioned event, that they will send a cease and desist letter, but some things happened too quickly for them to react. There was an awful situation, a bar, and I'm going to call them out, Electric Tequila, who we have been working on for at least 18 months to try to get them to come into compliance. They have a long history of bad behavior. And this past Friday night, in front of that bar, there was a shootout with probably close to 200 casings. It was absolutely incredible. I believe that the finally canceled the lease with Electric Tequila, but I believe he did it for one reason and one reason only, and that was because he knew that we finally had all the information that we needed to declare them a nuisance. And when we declare a nuisance, it means that that building can never have an ABC permit in it again, not for that owner or not for any other owner. You know, if it's true that he pulled the lease, I'm grateful for it, but I think it was done strictly for financial reasons. After what happened on Friday night, early Saturday morning, yesterday they had another Sunday they had another unsanctioned A&T event, and they had over double the capacity that they should have. It was an afternoon event. I would like to ensure that that they will be billed for that overcapacity. Trey, if you could confirm that with us at some point. The amount of public safety officials that we have to put out to bars and restaurants just like this one. And let me say, this isn't the only one we're having trouble with. There are probably 5 others right now that are just as bad. I've had a lot of people say to me after what happened on Friday night, why can't you shut them down? Why can't you do anything? And I think people need to understand that we as a city, we as a city council, me as the mayor, we don't have the ability to shut them down. You know, they have rights, and unfortunately, you know, it takes us a long time to build a case. I think we have to go back to the legislature and demand that they make it easier for us to shut places like this down. Do we really have to wait for somebody to get shot or killed? Because that is what the level is for a nuisance. It's not that it's loud music, it's that it's dangerous. And this is one of a number of dangerous locations that we have throughout our city. And what happened on Friday night was unconscionable. And I will say that this property owner owns another bar in town that has had shootings at it. So I hope that we can work together as a council, that we can go to our legislature. You know, we've talked about an entertainment ordinance, and, you know, there's always a big hubbub about it, that we're making it hard to do business. Well, maybe some businesses, it should be hard to do business because they're not doing it right. They're jeopardizing their patrons, and they are being very bad neighbors. A lot of these bars, the businesses right around them have to close early because they're afraid of what happens. That's not right. When we have people who are going out, I, as a mother, as mayor, I want them to know that they are going to a safe place. And there are places in our city that aren't safe. And we have to find a way to really, really come down hard. I know that we work within the law. I know that our legal department and our public safety, that they have done all that they can do. But we have got to find other ordinances or other things that we can do, because this is just too much. When there is a shootout and there were over 100 bullet casings, I spoke to an officer, 20-year officer, who said he had never seen so many bullet casings in one place before. There were shell casings from Pembroke to Walgreens, and we still didn't have the ability to close them. There's something wrong with that. You know, we have to, we're having some tough times right now. At the same time, there was another domestic homicide. We've had 5 homicides probably in the last 5 days. I know that the chief is going to come and talk to us at the work session after next. I believe that our officers are doing the best jobs that they can do. We've said it before, we cannot police our way out of this. Goldie has called for a day of prayer. We need the community to step up. We need our religious institutions. We need our nonprofits. We need to say that this behavior is not acceptable. You know, we also need to have a conversation, and I'm afraid that my battery's going to die in a second. So I hope I can get everything said I want to say. We need to talk with our district attorney, and we need to talk with our judges. We need to make sure that when our police arrest somebody and bring them down to the jail, that they're going to have to stay there. I don't know how many times that I have told that somebody has been brought to the jail and they're out before the officer shift is even over. There was a young man in High Point who was arrested for murder. While he was out on bail, he committed another murder. These are not things that happen in a vacuum. We need to demand more accountability from our criminal justice system. I believe in bail reform for minor items, whether they're traffic infractions or bad checks, but not when you have a violent thing that happens and when there are guns involved. Mary Kay and I have been going to the courthouse and we have been watching first appearances. There are some judges who are willing to go above the bond guidelines because of what happened or because of somebody's records, and there are other judges that don't. We need to make sure that our community understands that it's more than just policing. It is the criminal justice system, and that they need to hold people accountable and that they need to be accountable. And thank you for allowing me to rant. And if I get off, it's because my battery died.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councilwoman Hightower.
Well, how do you come behind that? But I would certainly say she made a lot of excellent points. And I'd like to add, we also need gun control.
Amen.
Because, I mean, 100 shell casings, who in the world? What in the world? It's like a shootout at OK Corral, really? I don't believe they had that many back in the old Wild Wild West days. But, I mean, why is it now that I feel like it's just a free-for-all and that people somehow don't feel like life is worth living? And we have to help make that possible too. And that's going to take everybody in the community as well. So I certainly understand the mayor's concern. It's my concern. A lot of these individuals dying, nobody should ever lose their lives. And District 1, unfortunately, has become almost the #1 district of homicides. I don't like it at all. I don't want any district to be #1. I'd like for all to be 0, number 0. But we've got to work together to find some solutions. But gun control is just as important, if you will. So, and I also want to thank everybody who sent me a flower. The city sent me a flower. Was scheduled to have eye surgery. Well, they put it off to this Thursday. So I will have it again this Thursday. It's been a slow week for me. Look, do you want us also to make, and before Madam Mayor goes, you want us to make a commission, board and commission appointment?
You can.
Mayor Pro
You can if you'd like.
Madam Mayor, it is a appointment that you have for GTAC. On the GTAC is District 1.
Yes.
I have a young lady. Her name is Chanel Nestor. She resides in District 1. She's young. We keep talking about engaging our young professionals. And when I talked to her the other day, one of the first things she said to me is, I really want to serve in my city. And I'm about to realize maybe this ain't the place for me. And I hope when I called her and talked to her, it was so encouraging. She said, oh, I'm so glad to hear from you because I really want to serve in my city. And so if you would appoint Chanel Nestor, she replaces Kim Isaac, whose appointment expired anyway, 8/23. She is a young professional A&T graduate student, smart young lady, and I think she will serve well.
Sharon, I will second your motion.
All right.
Thank you.
It's been seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All the ayes have it, so there are 8 of us who said yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you. And I'm just so excited. A&T had a wonderful homecoming. Aggie Pride.
Nancy Hoffman, Tammy Thurn. I want to give Auntie a shout out too. I have a friend in South Carolina who makes these wonderful fruit drinks. There's no alcohol in them, just fruit drinks, peach, lemonade, on and on. And she was a vendor, and she was so glad to be there, so excited, and is coming back next year. But, you know, Mayor Vaughn, you're absolutely right. There are places that are dangerous in this community and has nothing to do with any college or university in this city. So I give them a shout out because things were wonderfully peaceful on campus and in the surrounding communities. Saw folk hollered at them, that kind of thing. So I'm sorry they lost the game, but oh well. I'm okay. Mary Kay.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. First, I want to congratulate you on 40 years with One Step Further.
Thank you.
She founded that, and they had their anniversary special of 40 years, and that was a highlight, and congratulations.
Thank you.
You've done a lot of hard work in the community. Greensboro was nominated and was presented with the Family Forward for its the way that its city employees have so many things. There were several of the city employees who spoke, who were talking how Greensboro is such a family-friendly city to work for. And they went through all of the things that help make people want to work for the city. So congratulations to the city. I think we're one of the first ones in North Carolina. So that's really something to be proud of. The Commission on the Status of Women had a purple tree lighting. It was during the day, but we had another event, and several people spoke at that event about how important it is. Along with the homicides that are occurring, a lot of them are tending to be domestic violence or acquaintance violence. So it's something that the Family Justice Center always tries to help prevent. So if you know someone going through any type of issue, please have them contact the Family Justice Center, and they will get them the help that they seek. Let's see. I was very honored to be able to attend with our ATV team the North Carolina Railroad Safety program at the Children's Museum, where all of the children came out and watched us on the ATVs, and also good program. It's Rail Safe North Carolina through the North Carolina Department of Transportation, and it was just a great event. And this was one of the days that the children were not in school, so we had some really good crowds come and listen why it's important not to be walking on train tracks and not to be walking in the right-of-way on train tracks. So a lot of adults need to learn this as well. Luckily, since we've started the railway program, there have been no deaths on our corridor of 3 miles from beyond Elm Street down through and all the way to Franklin Boulevard. So it's very important to get education out. The Family Justice Center in High Point just celebrated 5 years. And the Spencer Love expansion, District 3, Mr. Zach Mathaney's district, There was a wonderful program on the dedication of the expansion there. I think that's all I have, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. Last thing. I represented the mayor in Greensboro on a panel in Raleigh for the North Carolina Housing Coalition on housing and issues involving housing. So I was very pleased to be able to do that. So thank you.
I forgot something. I want to send out my sympathy to the family of Spencer Gwynn. Spencer Gwynn was a principal for a long time, and he certainly, my children had him as a principal. He passed away, and A&T honored him because he used to be the sports announcer for A&T. He and Mel Swan. So to his family and to his wife, I'm really offer my sympathy. Zach?
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. I also want to congratulate you on the career that you've had one step further. It's difficult to have, you were talking about commitment, the lady we honored regarding sickle cell, but your commitment to the community has been needed and respected, and I congratulate you. There was a couple comments, and I know there were some emails, and I've said this a lot about our unsheltered friends. I do, when I will walk the park, I'm going to do it tomorrow morning to try to get to know folks. And the main reason that I do it is to listen and learn. And that's one thing I know Chairman Austin wanted to do when he started the task force. The reason why I took pictures is because they feel like they've forgotten. They feel like they have been forgotten. And I ask them, it's not like you're taking a selfie or something, but folks, there are amazing stories that I've gotten by just treating them with the respect that they deserve to be treated. And I'll do it again tomorrow, and I'll do it until we figure this out together, collaboratively. And actually, one guy, Willie, did an amazing card trick on me, and I'm like, this guy has so much talent. How can we take that talent and do a talent show or just something to get him some help? But it was he pulled my card out. It was amazing. District 3 did have some hard violence, and when you've got when we talk about the domestic violence that Mary Kay was talking about, and maybe Sharon, it's hard to police or control anything that happens behind somebody's door. But when you see the video of what happened outside the front door of Electric Tequila, that shouldn't be so damn hard to close down. The amount of bullets that were fired. And I've said this before in my tenure as a city council person. The only reason we don't have more homicides is, quite frankly, our criminals are bad shots. I mean, you hear the video and just the bullets flying, it's scary. And but that's something we should be able to have more control over. So I backed the mayor up on trying to work with our DA, work with whoever we need to work with, the state, ALE, that if we have problem places, we should be able to have more teeth, and we can control that versus things that we really can't. It's difficult, like the mother and daughter that lost their lives over the weekend up on Lawndale. Now, in policing, the gentleman that said that officers are, going above and beyond is one thing. I love our officers, but hopefully they're not behind closed doors unclothed. Hopefully that was not, you don't have to go that far. So hopefully that's not true, but we need to shut those places down as well. And you do see them often. Thank you.
Yes, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, thank you so very much. A couple of things here. I do want to commend North Carolina A&T on a successful homecoming. It was a great event on campus. The students enjoyed it. I think that the city enjoyed it. And also, it's an economic driver for us, so really appreciate that. Also, the Greensboro Housing Coalition had its annual summit on October 26th. And happy to say that Madam Mayor and Councilwoman Hightower and also Councilwoman Hoffman were in attendance. And again, it was an excellent affair. Had the opportunity, the solemn opportunity this past Friday to attend the third anniversary or the second anniversary candlelight vigil for Mark Friedman, who was murdered at his restaurant November 3rd of 2020. There were about 13 of us there. Lots of memories, lots of thoughts, lots of prayers, and also lots of hope. Lots of hope that somebody knows something and somebody's going to say something and somebody's going to tell something. Very similar to that, we also lost Matthew Wayne Grant on September 29th. It's the same story. Senseless killing, senseless murder. The suspects haven't been apprehended, but somebody does know something. Crime Stoppers is an excellent tool. Use it. It's an excellent tool. Please use it. And I won't say last but not least, I'll say we had, Madam Mayor Pro Tem Johnson, congratulations on your 40th. That's awfully awesome. You are a true leader in our community, and we appreciate you. But two things have stuck with me tonight. Two things have been very passionate tonight. One has been the housing conversation, spoken to us by our speakers from the floor. And then also the issue of violence, which is spoken to us by Madam Mayor. Those are two topics that, as we've all said, we're not going to solve very easily. We're not going to solve very quickly. I can tell you from the standpoint of the housing conversation, I know that Council Member Thurm said that, it's not technically our job. It's really that from the county. But this council has stepped up and has stepped into that gap to the tune of millions of dollars. And you still see where we are. Just like with the policing, we can't police our way out of the violence. These millions of dollars, there need to be more dollars. Dollars from the county, dollars from the state, dollars from federal. We aren't the only community that's challenged with this. And so therefore, that whole collective effort, the collective ideas, being creative, is really going to be required for us to survive. The city of New York, if I'm correct, from an earlier 6-month period in this year, they had about 110,000 new residents move in who were looking for assistance. We're not to that extent here in Greensboro, but we have a similar type of experience, and we're going to have to find a way out of it. We need to have a plan, and we need to have the funding to do it, not necessarily on the backs of our taxpayers, but we need to find a way to make sure we can keep doing it. This council is committed. We need others in our community to be as committed and to fund as much as they possibly can, or help us to be more creative. Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, I almost forgot. We are having our Crime Stoppers reverse raffle on November 16th. I'm on the board of Crime Stoppers, as you know, and City Council was very, very gracious year before last, giving money to Crime Stoppers so we could raise the rewards from $2,000, which it had been for 40 years, to $5,000. So we have been getting a lot more tips in, and this reverse raffle will certainly be helping to keep that sustained. So if anyone is interested, they can see me or call me offline. And also the Mark Friedman, yes, I was unable to attend the vigil, but I serve on the board of the Mark's Angel Foundation, and they are the ones who also raise money to give to Crime Stoppers and many deserving nonprofits who are in trying to prevent crime. So big thing about Crime Stoppers, I talk about it almost every meeting, is, if you see something, call Crime Stoppers. If you see something, say something. And if you don't want to say something to the public, then call Crime Stoppers. So thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem.
You're welcome. Chuck, do you have anything?
So, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, before we go.
I just called on Chuck. Hold on one second.
Oh, he ain't got nothing to say. Watch.
She's actually right. I have nothing to say.
He said you're right. Go ahead.
Madam Mayor Pro Tem, I wanted to tell everybody that you are featured in the Southern City magazine that is written by North Carolina League of Municipalities. And so Yvonne Johnson is featured in this book magazine. Everybody pick up one. It says here, Yvonne Johnson, a lifetime of service. So congratulations. When we talk about you are a legacy here in our city. And now Raleigh's recognized you too. So I just wanted everybody to know that. So we should have several copies of these at the city.
Okay. Thank you, Sharon.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn? Or did you have anything else?
No. Is there a second? Let's go.